These women are finally starting to get it, fellas. Y'all check this out.
It is very expensive to be single. And when I say single, I mean not married. I'm not talking about the people that are dating or anything, just not married and no kids. It is very expensive. You cannot imagine like the people who are living their lives doing all these things. It's because they have shared expenses. It is expensive to do all this by yourself. It is expensive. So if you're doing all this by yourself, be proud of yourself, because I'm proud of myself.
Why would I be proud of myself for just being a human, a person just living in society? Why would I be proud of myself for that?
I have been divorced and single for 3 years now. And you know what keeps me up at night? Surprisingly, it's not the loneliness. It's realizing just how expensive it is to choose to be single in this economy.
Oh my gosh, being single is so expensive. This is not what I signed up for.
So what did you sign up for? Please share it with us. When you left your boyfriend or you got rid of him, what did you think was going to happen? What did you actually sign up for?
I really got to go buy outfits just to go out, just to try to impress these fools. And then on top of that, when I do go out, I got to at least buy myself an initial, beginner drink. So whatever that price may be. Sometimes I even got to pay to get into places by myself. I'm just so disgusted.
If you are single, living in this economy, doing everything for yourself, you a bad bitch.
Or, I'm just throwing this out there, we're just spitballing here, you could just be a human living on the planet Earth. That's what you could be, but I don't know, I'm just guessing.
I want to talk about the cost of being single and if it's actually more expensive for women, because I know the idea of finding a partner to share expenses with can feel very attractive, especially if you're a woman who wants to travel, have nice things, go out to eat, maybe save your money and invest a little bit. Doing all of these things can feel impossible and out of reach because the cost of living is obviously higher than ever, but I need to remind you that going 50-50 with a man is rarely an even split. And even if you find a good one, women in relationships still take on a majority of the mental and physical load even when they work the exact same hours as their partner.
Well, fine. If that's how you feel about it, cool. Well, maybe you should tell this young lady here.
Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but it's expensive. I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all 4 brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500, so I just blew $1,100 in like 3 hours, and it wasn't even like fun,
You know what? I feel bad for this young lady. I do. That's tough. Spending your hard-earned money on something that isn't fun, that is crazy. But I do have some good news for you. There is a group of people out there who do this all the time, all day, every day, and they never complain about it. All you have to do is Google the word men, and I am pretty sure you'll be able to find somebody you can speak to that can help you through this traumatizing event that you just had to deal with.
Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. Like, you work and 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 you work, and it's just to pay off like your basic necessities.
Why isn't anybody talking about the single tax? Imagine paying half your rent because you share your apartment with somebody, half your electricity bills, half your cable, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, subscriptions. When you're going to the airport on a trip, you don't have to pay $70 for an Uber by yourself because you're splitting it with somebody. Forget saving money on a Costco membership. When am I ever going to use 36 apples? It's honestly the only argument I have for getting in a relationship. It is expensive to stay single.
So I don't care what anybody says, but the path to wealth is paved with 2 incomes. I mean, the math is very clear that 2 individual people making 50 or 75 would not be able to afford the lifestyle that they would be able to. They would not be able to make the investments that they could, but for their combined income. Let's not even talk about the fact of the mental and emotional aspect that gets alleviated when you have a second income. When I think about the time period where I was essentially making a third of what I had made in the prior 5 years, there are other people in my social circle that were impacted similarly, but they had partners and they had someone to share expenses and share the burden, not just financial, but emotionally. Whereas I'm thinking, okay, if I don't make the money doesn't get made.
And see, this is the thing that a lot of women don't think about. Everything is good when you're making your money, your job is paying you every week, one time. But if something was to happen and you lose that job, you don't have a backup. You don't have anybody there to have your back. And now it's been 30 days and rent is due and you're trying to figure out ways to get out of it. But unfortunately, it ain't gonna work.
Your rent's due, motherfucker! And don't be pulling that falling down the stairs on me, you hear? Are you conscious?
The hardest part about being single is 100% being able to afford it. It's expensive to be alive, it's expensive to be healthy, it's expensive to live alone, and it's expensive to be a woman.
But I'm gonna need people that are in relationships to listen to this video and just be a little bit more considerate of your single friends. Now, I'm never going to expect to be a priority above somebody's partner, but you just get to a stage in life when you've been single for such a long time and you just get sick and tired of like being second best or like the backup.
But that's what you are. When you're single, you're nobody's number one. You are a backup. You are Tito, and your friend's boyfriend or girlfriend, they're Michael Jackson.
It really like knocks your confidence. And so my cousin, he doesn't follow me on TikTok, right? He asked me if I wanted to go to the R&B event that's happening in the park next month, the Chucky and Taser one. I don't really have anyone to go with, so I was happy that he asked me. And I said, oh, let me come back to you because I've got a few things I need to sort out this month and perhaps I'll buy my ticket at a later date. Anyway, he then comes back to me saying that he's bought VIP tickets for him and his girl and that I should now find somebody else to go with. You asked me to go with you, and now you're telling me I should go find somebody else because now you've just basically kicked me to the curb.
Exactly. That is exactly what he should have did. If I'm in a relationship and I ask you to go somewhere, but my girlfriend plans change and now she's available to go, guess who's no longer going? You. This is why you need to go get your own man so he can do that for you.
I am tired of the amount of gaslighting us single people have to go through. Because let's be honest, a lot of the things that our friends in relationships can get for free, we have to pay for. And there's no amount of self-love or therapy that can kind of circumvent the frustration that being single is very expensive. Because if, an example, I am sick, I don't have anyone who can cook for me. My friend can ask her boyfriend to cook for her. I have to DoorDash something. If I need help moving something in my house, I need to go find someone and pay that person to come over and move it. Well, my friend can just ask her partner. And all those things just add up. If you lose your job, you have someone who can help you with rent. If you are having like financial trouble or health trouble, you now need to like disclose that to your family or friends, which might be embarrassing. Or you can tell your one husband or your wife to help you through that. It is so frustrating to have to go through so many things alone and make these really big decisions, hard decisions completely by myself.
I am so confused listening to this because I thought this is what y'all wanted, to be independent. Y'all can handle it just like a man. Y'all don't need a man. Y'all can just do it. What are we complaining about here? Nothing you said was difficult. That is what men do every day. Y'all are starting to confuse me. Do y'all need a man or not? Which one is it?
Nobody is talking about how expensive it is to be single, okay? Because when you're single, you don't have anybody that's out here buying you food, helping you with the bills, and if something breaks, you don't have no handy dandy man around the house that's like, oh, I got it, babe, I'll fix it when I get home, or whenever he decides to fix it. No, you either got to get on YouTube University or you got to go pay somebody. You got to go pay somebody else's man to come in your house and fix it for you. It's too expensive to be single, and people want to be out here cheating, and you better lock you one person down because it's too expensive out here to be alone.
Lady, I don't know why you're talking to us about this. This is what men have been saying for the longest. It is expensive in general. The price of everything from housing to cars to food, everything is expensive. So you don't need to tell us that. Talk to your people, the other women, because they still out here talking about they can only date providers. And 50-50 men are weak or they're sassy. I even saw one video where a woman said a man going 50-50 is gay.
50-50 over here. Our uncles and dads, that's gay.
So talking to us is a waste of your time. We get it. This is why, even though I am a man who will most likely provide for my woman, I understand why most people would go 50-50. It makes sense in this generation. I do not understand why this is so hard for so many women to understand. Well, honestly, I don't think it's hard for them to understand. They don't want to understand it because they just want their bills paid. This video is a great example of women understanding exactly what's going on out there, because when they have to pay these bills, all of a sudden it's expensive. It's a lot. Oh, I can't believe I had to pay $600 for some brakes. But you wouldn't have had an issue if your man paid $600 for those brakes. You wouldn't have cared. You know what you would have said to him when he came home from paying $600 for your brakes? Let's go out to dinner tonight, baby. There's a new fancy restaurant I want to try. That's what you would have said to him. It would have been no remorse. You wouldn't have cared less about what he just did for you. And then 2 months later, you get into an argument. You start telling him how he doesn't do anything for you because you forgot all about those brakes because they weren't fun. It's easy to say what y'all have been saying until you have to do it yourself. And this is the thing. It is about to get way worse out here. These prices aren't going down. There are a lot of things that are about to change. A lot more people are going to be displaced from their jobs. The unemployment rate is going to continue to rise. And there's going to be a lot of people out here struggling. And I'm talking about men too. Men and women will be struggling. But the difference is men are built for this. We have no problem living in a smaller apartment, not going out to dinner, being able to entertain ourselves at home. A lot of you women can't do that. Y'all still want to go on trips. Y'all still want to go out to fancy restaurants. Y'all still got to buy $500 makeup makeup and all that goofy stuff y'all like to buy. Y'all still need handbags, even though you're barely surviving. That's why this is going to be a struggle, because most women don't know how to adapt to their environment, and men have no problem with that. So even though it's going to get bad for everybody, men will be way better off in that situation because of how we deal with it. And the crazy part is there are women out there right now on TikTok making videos about how they need a provider, and they have no idea how they're going to pay their rent at the end of the month, because in their heads they have been told the only option is getting a man who can do all of it instead of getting a man that y'all can do it together. And as long as you women are out there with that all or nothing attitude, a lot of you are going to be in trouble. A lot of you. Because every woman ain't getting no provider man. That just ain't gonna happen. Most women will not get a provider man. So a lot of you women are gonna either have to adapt or struggle by yourself. I will say you do have an option. You got the Golden Girls options. Maybe 3 or 4 of you get together and y'all pay rent and share the same house together. Y'all can do that. So there's ways y'all can get around it where y'all don't need a man. You still may need men to come over and fix stuff and pay for stuff. That's fine. But y'all can do it together. But I promise you something you won't be able to do. You won't be able to go to one of your girlfriends and have her pay all your bills. That ain't gonna happen. Y'all gonna have to do it together. The only difference is y'all willing to do it together with your friends, but a lot of you are not willing to do it with a man. And this is why a lot of you are gonna be struggling and going through it, because you haven't adapted to what society is today. Not what it was in 1940, what it is today. So to those women who don't want to adapt, all I can tell you is good luck, because it's gonna get rough out there. But anyway, leave your thoughts on the video. Appreciate you watching. See you next time. Please like the video and leave a comment. I love listening to what you guys have to say. And don't forget to hit that hype button, because it really helps me out with the algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.